we live yet?
Yo, we're live. We're live. We'll do it live.
We're live. Can you believe it?
Yo. So, as the title says, most of the discussion tonight will be about One Piece, chapter 10-20. Just gotta check the audio real quick. Are we on? Yeah, we're good. We're live. But yeah, it's gonna be mostly about the One Piece chapter 10-20. Just run through a few quick video game news bits. There's a mod somehow to get a Google Street View for the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Stop it.
Yeah, somebody put together a mod for that. Let me see. Kit Harington mentioned that working on Game of Thrones led him to some mental health issues. I know one thing that he complained about was not being able to shave or change his hairstyle. He did that show for 8 years. So,
yeah, it felt like 20.
Yeah, exactly. So I can definitely see that there as a man, having to stay in a box, having to do that type of work. In other news, Sony said that they still plan to sell 22 million PlayStation 5s even during this whole shortage era with the whole chips. They still feel that they can get out 22 million. They're also doing a test run with select users for their hard drive update with the Seagate 1 terabyte SSDs that you can replace the current SSD with. The current SSD is 825, but when you actually use the PlayStation 5, it goes down to 687 gigabytes. So I'm pretty sure even if you get the 1 terabyte, it would still go down to just about the same thing, 827 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So you're really not upgrading much. So obviously wait on it until the full specs come out. It's unfortunate, but I'll say this about the PlayStation 5: the download speeds are quick. So even with a game of the size magnitude of something like a Final Fantasy VII remake, I downloaded that game within 15 minutes and was able to play it. So and that game is 80 gigabytes on PlayStation 5. So the download speeds are way faster than the 4. The 4 would have been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
To get that. So
you had that lightning quick gigabit network.
Exactly. Because the standard hard drive is at 5,500 megabytes per second, supposedly. But it still does depend on your whole internet service. If your internet service can only do 145 megabits per second, guess what? You're at the mercy of your actual internet speed. You're at the mercy of that download speed. So so just that is out there. They are test running it with select users of the PlayStation 5. And the guy who plays the star character in Cobra Kai, I don't even know how you say his name. How you say his name? It's Spanish. There's
Spanish, which one?
Is it Zolo? The one who plays
the kid Daniel or something like that.
Zolo is XOLO.
Yeah, I think it's Xolo.
Meriduena. He's in talks to play the Blue Beetle, and obviously Blue Beetle is from DC Comics.
Yeah.
So within the DC EU,
they're probably going to take him from the Young Justice Blue Beetle.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's
those right there are some of the things going on in the stratosphere of video games and comics. But as we talked about, our main discussion tonight has to do with One Piece chapter. 10-20, which I thought was a excellent chapter.
Let's go.
Some folks have given it a 10 out of 10. They've said that it's it was. I know that was Roger's Base gave it a 10 out of 10. I know King of Lightning gave it a pretty high score as well. When he did his live reaction / review, he said it was peak fiction, as people call it sometimes. But the chapter starts off with us getting to see Yamato in her In the hybrid form, we actually get a name. This is the first time in a long time that Oda has actually given us a name of a devil fruit that we haven't had to learn from a Vivre card. In a very long time. He said it's the mythical type model Okuchi no Makami, a rare mythical wolf. So she has a mythical wolf devil fruit. AKA think of...
Is it Makami or Okami?
It pretty much is the Okami. Because the Byakuyo, but it's a wolf deity in the mythology. It guards the Yamato region. It's a whole play on words. It's Oda being Oda. It's a play on words. Yamato ate this guardian deity wolf devil fruit. So that's why Kaido tells her, you should be guarding Wano for me, because you ate this fruit, which wasn't intended for you, by the way. I was actually planning to give it to someone else. So you got to think right there, who was he actually planning to give this devil fruit to? His most trusted, and it's kind of weird and wonky translations out there, but at one point it said Jack was his most trusted confidant, but the one who seems to be running the show in his stead is King, the Wildfire. There's is Jack really the right hand man, or is it King? King more than likely has the highest bounty of the of all of his guys, because one, he's revealed Queen's bounty, which is 1.3 billion, is lower than Marco's. Marco's is 437 million, and I believe, and then Queen was I think it's 1.30 something. But yeah, so obviously King is probably going to be 1.6, 1.7 billion, right there in that frame. But yeah, that's how the chapter starts back off with that clash that we ended off on with 1019 between her and Kaido. They ended up with her using her Namuji Glacial Fang. For some reason I can't talk tonight. And then Kaido just uses his blast breath in his hybrid mode. So they both can't cancel out one another, and folks have been impressed with her, because she seems to be one of the only characters aside from Luffy that we've seen go toe to toe, blow for blow against Kaido. But I do remind folks that when Zoro used Ashura against Kaido, he was blocking. He was trying to block Zoro's blades with his club, but Zoro pushed them back and cut him. So Zoro seems to be another character who can possibly go toe to toe, blow for blow with him as well. Even though Kaido hit him with Thunder Bagua after Zoro broke 20 to 30 bones according to law, Zoro still wasn't knocked out. He was still conscious. We know early in the arc, Luffy got knocked out when he got hit by Thunder Bagua. But Zoro, this is the same dude, pre-time skip. Nothing happened.
Man, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
This is literally Zoro's stick, is to walk the path of pain, as he says, without complaining. This is the path that he's chosen, which seems to be in the line of the Hindu myth, which is the devil realm, which is the highest realm of their god in that belief. So from there, we go to the next spot. We go back to Brook and Robin versus Black Maria and her subordinates. We're introduced here to where Nico is seeing illusions of her mom, of Professor Clover, and Saul. Maria is putting it on thick, trying to dissuade her from fighting this fight. Only for one. Robin knows this, so she slaps all of them real, quick here. But one of the things is that we do get another reveal of a number. Kunyun, obviously, I'm not very well versed in Japanese, but I know if you're going off of the names, 1 is Ichi, 2 is Niji, 3 is San, 4 is Shi, 5 is Go. This might be 6. I'm thinking that this might be 6. One of the 6th number. She is a female. So she ends up slapping the nurse, snake smile fruit user, and she smacks the other snake, which is the white snake smile one as well. So then she and Brooke end up running away. Brooke is able to actually project his soul to use his cold ability now, and in the hood translations, I think they called it soul solid, but here in the Viz translation, they just call it cold soul, which feel whatever way you want to like feel about it. I like some of
prefer the first one.
Yeah, I like some of the Viz translations, but I cannot stand Animal Kingdom pirates. I cannot stand Neptunians for the Sea Kings. It's like, no, they're Sea Kings. This Neptunians is like, it sounds so generic sometimes, but like here, it's pretty cool. It still has that same feel to it. You know, the like TCB scans call it Soul Solid. Here it's called Cold Soul. So some of the the dialogue in this chapter was cool. I don't want to skip over too many details though, because you do have the whole face in her Wan Yudo is basically a giant headed man with a pug with the pug's body of a dog, running in the will, creating the flames. And so, which was pretty cool, to like see Oda is still, very creative in this series. I really cannot talk tonight. But Brooke says that the reason why the illusions don't work on him, because obviously he was stuck in the Florian Triangle for like 50 years, and he imagined seeing his crewmates pretty much every day. And Nico Robin is just Nico Robin. She's pretty much like Batman of the One Piece verse. You can't fade her. You can't get things over her like head. So
tell me when I just heard Kevin Conroy doing Nico Robin.
So I was like, so that right there was like cool to like get that. I mean, it's sad at the same time, but it's cool to understand. Both of them kind of like relate in that same way. How for most of her life, she was on the run as a child, and for Brooke's life, for his second life, he was trapped in the Florian Triangle again for 50 years, to where he was seeing illusions of his of the like Rumbar crew being alive.
If I would throw in something, I think that's why their characters work so well together. Mm-hmm. Is that Nico Robin is the tragedy averted, while he's the tragedy being rebirthed back to life. He's after the storm. She's before the storm can get crazy. Mm-hmm. He's after the storm has done all the damage. Yeah. And they meet in a happy middle to where they work together. Also, Solid Soul, when you consider that he considers himself to be the king of soul.
Yeah.
And the way knowing soul music and knowing my people and my culture, Solid Soul sounds dope. I'm just saying. Vince, you need to jump on that. Solid Soul.
So then Black Maria, she like comments on them after hearing them, say those things. You know what? You read this real quick. I need to go get me a water.
So yes, you should do that. So, at a certain point, you begin to see how she's clearly using her ability to have went through a lot of things that she's went through. All of her experience has brought her to a point where all these different traps, all these different illusions no longer affect her. As my brother said, she is the Batman. The reason why she is the Batman of the One Piece crew is because it's her mind that causes her to overcome. Zoro is clearly the will. Mm-hmm. Luffy is clearly the guts. Sanji, you could argue, is the passion. But she is definitely the mind of the group. Like, she's the archaeologist. She studied multiple histories. She studied multiple cultures to understand how these things were affected from the 14th century and so on and so forth. So, you know, she's definitely the brain of her group. In fact, I just kind of realized something. There really is no brain of their group other than Nico Robin. Like,
you got Nico, Robin. I mean, Nico, Nami, and Sanji, and then you would say Brooke are like the smartest. In the entire crew.
Yeah,
it's those four right there. But so she like basically says there. She says, "How can you say that?" Talking about not seeing seeing through the illusions and then she says when you guys are actually dreaming about beating Kaido so like you're like seeing a impossible future. You guys can't beat him. That thing is what big mom called him back on Whole Cake Island. She's like, man, you like can't even beat me. How do you expect to beat that thing? But basically, seemingly, even though she says she's better than him, it's just boisterous. But she seemingly puts Kaido even above herself. Yeah. In that respect, because she's like, and with this whole myth, it's like he can't be killed. He's been hanged a bunch of times. The rope broke. They tried to impale him. The spear broke. They tried to cut off his head.
Tried to drown him.
The guillotine. The like blade broke. Again. He ate like fish fruit, so you can't drown him because he can breathe underwater. Same thing. Anything as Jack Jack the Drought. He's also part fisherman, so like putting him in water just annoys him because he was waiting for like his like crew to go on and find him. It's like hurry up, y'all. Yeah. So basically from like there, Black Maria sets the entire floor on fire. And then Brooke again uses Cold Soul, and then when like Robin is falling down to like put out the whole flames, he uses Ice Burn, and then Black Maria tries to goad her again, with like Sanji talking about how like you're just a burden to you're like whole crew, but like Nico's been through that already with like Eni's lobby in Water 7. She's like, nah, these guys have already said that they're willing to like die for me. They would save me. So no, I'm like good. I'm solid. And so from right there, Brooke leaves Black Maria to her, which is like good because we haven't seen Robin have a 1v1 since Yama in Upper Yard and Skypiea. That's the last time Nico Robin had a 1v1 fight. And Brooke goes to take on the Number and the other Smile Fruits who weren't affected by what's her name's
Tama.
Yeah, by her Dongos from right there. And so at the end of it, Nico pulls out a giant version of herself, and she's like, so then there was also another problem with the official, which Stephen Paul, the like translator, he did go on to acknowledge that like Robin doesn't say Sanji is the Wings. She says he's one of the Wings because the TCB scan said that he's one of the Wings. The official viz said that he is the Wings. So people were like, well then what is Zoro? Yeah, but Stephen Paul, he has said that actually it is a mistranslate. It is a mistrans. It's actually supposed to be Sanji is one of the wings of the King of the Pirates. So obviously that would mean Zoro is the other one because we know. I believe people pointed out back in volume 73 in the SBS. Oda said Zoro and Sanji are the right and left hand of the Pirate King in the SBS. If I am remembering it correctly. And so from there, it goes back to Luffy. Luffy is, he's with the Heart Pirates. He's telling them that he needs meat, to go ahead and get back up to, doing what he needs to do and wants to do, which is obviously send Kaido flying. He wants to get back into the action. And at the end of the chapter, he basically asks Momo, he tells him, "Hey man, stop crying. We have to go on and get this done. You can cry after this is over." But he's like, we need to go on and get this done. And then he points up and he says, "You need to fly me back up there." Now, obviously, once Luffy has enough meat, he can actually do it himself because he has Gear Fourth. But why waste energy? Because Gear Fourth burns his actual Haki reserves that he's going to need to actually fight Kaido. He was trying to use the Gum Gum fruit in conjunction with King's Haki, but he ran out, and Kaido seemingly knocked him out right after that. And so that's pretty much the end of the chapter. We were actually talking about this before we went live. We have seen spoilers for like 10:21, so we're not going to allude to anything going on.
We're not?
We're not going to allude to anything going on in that chapter. But this is one of my problems that I've had with Momo since he's been introduced. I understand he's an 8-year-old kid, but it's like the way Oda has written this series. We've seen a bunch of kids inside of the series who have, went through something tragic, got their resolve together, and moved on ahead with the job, right? Yeah. Momo, in actual manga time, has been like 4 or 5 months since he's been with the Straw Hats and the 9 Red Scabbards.
Kinemon, Kanjuro.
Kinemon, Kanjuro, and all of them. And it's like, and I understand I understand he's a kid, he's afraid of heights. But guys, this is the same series that had Garp throwing Luffy into the jungle, telling him to get over it. Man, obviously we know Luffy got his resolve truly together after Sabo died, right?
Yeah. After
they got into it with those bandits in Gray Terminal.
Oh yeah.
But it was really after Sabo died that Luffy was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and man up, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, right? With Law, right? His family, he lost his whole family to the white lead disease that was given to them seemingly by the actual government on that island. And so once Law found out, Law did what? He cried a little bit, but Law found out what happened, and then he went to Dofi, joined Dofi's crew, came back and killed everybody who killed off his family.
Yeah.
Resolve. You see it with the girl on Punk Hazard with the whole candy, right? I always forget her name. What was her name on Punk Hazard? The big girl who they were experimenting with gigantification. I'll remember the name later. But it's like you saw her. Yeah, she was afraid at first, but then once she realized what was actually going on, she got the resolve to do what needed to be done. And the biggest one of all to me, Don Quixote Doflamingo himself. Was about to be crucified. He had already been shot with multiple arrows, and then he awakens. He gets upset, gets his resolve, ends up awakening King Saki, and from there, he has his resolve. He's ready to do what needs to be done. Momo, to me, we've been through this so many times with him that it's kind of annoying now. Ever since we met him back on Punk Hazard, he was, ornery. He wasn't truly acknowledging Luffy and them. He wasn't very respectful to them. And then he gets a characterization. He gets character growth on Zou because he wants Luffy's help, right? And Luffy's like, man, that's not the way you ask me. You need to come correct when you ask, me for something or anything. Stop acting high and mighty. Get off your high horse. You're asking me. Ask me like a man. And so he goes up to Luffy and grabs his hand. And Luffy's like, nah, man, grip it stronger. Luffy is really dragging it out of him at this point. Man up. Grab my hand. Now what do you want? Kind of like how a older brother does his younger brother, or how a father or a mother does the child. One, that's not the way you ask me correctly. When you do ask me, put a please on it, right? Luffy skips the please. He's like, man, ask me like a man to man, because you're going to be the ruler of Wano Kuni. So you need to step up. And, to me, that right there to me is the perfect moment to go ahead and quash that. Momo gets his resolve. He's ready to do what needs to be done. Another perfect moment is when he gets captured by Kanjuro on Wano Kuni, heading to Onigashima. He tells them, "Hey guys, I'm going to be fine. Go on and do what needs to be done. Don't worry about it." As he's walking through the cave with Kanjuro, after Kanjuro has him tied up, Kanjuro distracted by like some of the guards who don't know that like, he's actually on their side. They attack him, and as he's taking them out, Momo sees a knife on the ground, and later on he attempts to go at Kanjuro and stab him, but obviously Kanjuro should have observation haki, and so he beats up Momo for it, right? That right there, that was something that Momo would have never have done earlier on inside the series. So I'm thinking, okay, he's got his resolve. He knows what to like do. And then we get back up to like the live floor, and it's like, okay, he was getting crucified. Understandable. But then it's like, okay, you also think he has his resolve again, because Kaido's like, hey, what, man? I really don't think you're like Odin's son. So like, you can do us both a solid right now. I'll let you go. Just say you're like not his son, and go on about your way.
Yeah.
And you can go. And he says, through tears with resolve, I am Momonosuke, the son of Odin Kozuki. So you're thinking, oh man, okay, he's arrived. He's ready to do it. And then you get to this chapter and he's crying again. And it's like, I understand. He saw Kinemon and Okiku die. But it's like, he should not have needed another speech. In my opinion, he should not have needed another speech from Luffy to tell him to man up again.
Yeah.
This is like the fourth time Luffy has told this kid, hey man up. And like, how many man up talks do you need before you gain the resolve to go on and do what needs to be done?
Yeah.
In this moment. No, this moment is calling for you, the heir, the future ruler of Wano Kuni, to step up to the plate. And you're crying again. It's like, and again, as I've said, I understand, he's still 8, but again, there's been precedences set with Luffy, Doflamingo, and Law. They were all kids as well. And they all manned up when it came time to go on and do what needs to be done. But Oda seems to be in this bungee cord effort with him for some weird reason, to where at one point he's manning up, his resolve was there, and the next point he's wavering again. And it's like, the whole bungee cord is like, I'm tired of it now. Can we go ahead and move past this point?
I think there's two ways I look at it. Is because it's kind of like, there was a child who was at my house the other day. And been at my house every day. I plays with my son. In the middle of the night, starts crying because I say, hey, y'all go to bed. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Y'all shouldn't be playing video games. You should be getting yourselves ready for bed. And we're getting close to the school time, so it's time to start tapping it down. Lost it. Wouldn't stop crying. There's one thing I cannot stand is crybabies. Like,
I have to get on my own constantly. Like, hey, what are you crying for?
Yeah.
Like,
I've had to literally terrorize my child out of to stop crying, because, like, there are times and places to cry. Like, I've went through tragedies. I've lost family members, and I knew that I had to be strong. Mm-hmm. And this is what happens as you grow up. This is psychologically true. You do grow up. Where my brother and I, we both agree, is that there are certain aspects of One Piece that usually in the past, once we got past it, we got past it. Like, we didn't need to see Nami trying to chop up her arm again.
Exactly. She didn't do it in her sleep one night, still trying to, it's like, come on, dude.
She didn't do that to remove Arlong's tattoo or brand on her. She didn't do that. We didn't see Nami scream after she declared that she wanted to live. She didn't scream to Luffy when she's getting dragged through, I still want to live. That's not what happened. It was like, it was one time, that's it. And I think what's happened with Oda is that Oda has done something. He's kind of transformed One Piece a little bit. And you realize this is something that's kind of going on since the time skip, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I as I was saying again, being before we streamed, it really started happening. Amazon Lily, Impel Down, Marineford.
Yeah. Because Luffy literally almost lost his life in pursuit of finding his brother, which was epic story of epic proportions. It felt like the Odyssey, more like the Odyssey and less like One Piece if you pay attention to the themes. However, Luffy nearly losing his life on several different occasions gets a little old. Mm-hmm. Because at a certain point in time, there's no risk to it, right?
Exactly. He's the main character. We already know he's not going to die.
So then what's the point in doing all this? There's better ways of telling this story. It's like, what was dope is when they all met back at Sabaody Archipelago, and they're going up against Paw Fruit's mechanical clones.
Yeah.
And then he's dodging them left and right without...
He's like, you guys are slow now.
Yeah. They looking like Neo from the Matrix, guys. Exactly. Like, seriously.
And then you realize that their lasers fire at light speed, and he's saying light speed is slow.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I can see that.
I mean, you know what I mean? So we're having an epic story of what was going to happen with everything that happened. And so I have no problem with the way that he's writing the story. It's just the fact that all of a sudden now, since the time skip, you have to say it once, say it twice, say it 3 or 4 times. And I wonder sometimes, is he doing that to drag out the series a little bit because he realized he wants to include certain pieces of information, or is he just doing this because he's trying to make a point? But his point was better stated when there was less to say. Again, what's understood needs no explanation.
Yeah.
So that's my only critique of it. I do also realize that, again, just like that child the other night, I mean, could not stop crying. Eventually, I had to read it. I'm like, hey, did anybody say anything terrible to you? No. Anybody hit you? No. Anybody yell at you? No. Anybody actually do anything that's going to cause you to cry? No. So why are you crying? You don't want to go to bed. Gets quiet. And that's okay. Nobody wants to go to bed on time. Even as adults, man, you know you're supposed to be in bed at least by 11 o'clock. You over here. But it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
But like here we are streaming, right? Julius, please.
So yeah, my son, that monster, that terrorist.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, as I said, it's a minor complaint, but it is like, I'm kind of getting tired of the, Momo needs to be encouraged again. Again, I wouldn't have such an issue with it if there weren't previous incidents, or precedents set with other characters. Yes, I know Momo is his own character, but when you've written several characters in the way that they experienced trauma as kids, and then also as kids, they got over that trauma relatively quickly. Again, Law experienced his whole people dying from the white lead disease, which he found out was being manufactured to them. Like, people knew what it was. They were allowing them to sell it to them, and they were purposely letting them die. And so when Law found out, he cried a little bit, but then what did Law do? Law found out about Don Quixote, Doflamingo. Dofi saw his resolve and was like, man, I like this kid. Let's go back and let's kill all these people who killed your whole family. And then that's how Law's piracy started. At the same age as around Momo was, I believe Law was 8 years old. Oh. Luffy was 7 when like Sabo died. Dofi was 7 or 8 when he awakened King's Haki as he was being crucified. So it was like all of these characters, like, again, I understand Momo was afraid of heights. He's like one of the characters who we've actually seen in the series actually have an actual phobia, right? But Usopp is just a coward. But he actually has a like phobia, which I'm not down on. The phobia is a phobia. But what I'm down on is that we're going through the same explanations of be brave. It's like, how many times you got to be told to be brave before you actually, like, again, those other characters didn't need to be told 20 times to be brave. They went through something and then let's go.
I actually think that, and I hate saying this because it more so speaks to now. Mm-hmm. People are now trying to define bravery as cowardice. Mm-hmm. People are now trying to reinvent strength as weakness. And I think that's probably why we're a little agitated at it. I'm more so just like, it's just a sign that, what are you trying to make the point? And make it plain, like as quickly as possible, because it does get a little old when you're like, and he's struggling to get over the hill. Exactly. All right. Well, he's strong enough to get over the hill, and then the guy said, "You're strong." And it's like, great, he's strong, and he says, "Yes, I am." And then he starts climbing. I can't do it. It's like okay.
In the middle of it, it's like, okay, this is the very time Luffy's giving you this speech. Which one is going to hit?
Yeah.
Is it going to be the 20th hit? Is it going to be the 20th speech of Man Up? When you like, when is it going to hit?
Yeah.
That's my issue with his character. Is that Luffy's talked to him when they met on Punk Hazard. He talked to them, on Dressrosa right before they left. He talked to him on Zou, which again, as I said, was a perfect moment. He talked to them when he got captured by Kanjuro. He had resolve in front of Kaido, announced his name. My name is. So again, oh man, those moments I'm in. Now he's being told again, and it's like, come on, man. This, imagine Zoro getting beaten 5 other times by like top ranked swordsmen, and then always crying on his back. Luffy, I won't lose again. The moment's not going to hit anymore.
It's lost.
It's lost at that point.
It's lost.
And that's what I'm saying with that Momo. The moment for me is lost now because like I thought Zou was a perfect moment. I thought Kanjuro was a perfect moment. I thought in Kaido's face was a perfect moment. And now it's on Luffy on his back asking him to fly him up. Now this is the moment. It's like, again, the phobia thing I get. What I don't get is him having to be encouraged again. Told to stop crying again. This is like the 5th time, but let's go ahead and jump off this point. We've been like talking about it enough. People are also raising an issue about the Straw Hats. In general. Again, we're not going to allude to 1021. Dang.
He won't let me, guys. We're not going to. He won't let me.
We're not going to allude to 1021, but like folks are having an issue with the Straw Hats taking out the Flying Six. Obviously, talking about Frankie beat Sasaki. I don't have a problem with Jinbei versus Who's Who because it's Jinbei, Knight of the Sea, first son of the sea. Strawberry said the one that y'all need to worry about is Jinbei. Out of all of the Fishman Pirates, he said, man, look, Fisher Tiger was strong, but he literally said, Jinbei's strength is mythic. He said Jinbei's strength is mythic. That's what he said about Jinbei. So it was like, so I have no problem with Jinbei beating Who's Who, no problem at all. But when we get into Nico Robin versus Black Maria, one of the Flying Six members, and we know Oda goes by the person who gets taken out earliest, the weakest, and then he starts to go up later on. Now I'm not saying Sasaki is weaker than Black Maria, or that Robin is stronger than Frankie. I'm not saying that, but it's like, how do we power scale the Straw Hats now? Because seemingly it's a 1v1. We know Robin's going to win. She's not going to lose. She's the main character. But how do you think the whole power scaling goes? Because even with Zoro seemingly getting back into the fight, I know you and I have both expressed that we would like to see him actually go against Kaido again. But we do know that there is the whole Momotaro theme with Wano. There's the dog, the monkey, and the pheasant. Obviously, Luffy is the monkey. The pheasant would be Marco, and the dog would be Yamato.
Yeah.
And so, where do you think, Straw Hats wise, does these fights kind of come out of nowhere? Like how are they this strong? Like where are these jumps in strength coming from?
Well, I've always felt that one of the biggest problems with One Piece is that they never really explored where all the characters have been during the 2 years. Mm-hmm. All these characters have been in different places, and we will not talk about 1021, but trust me, discussions coming up. I promise.
Yeah.
But we didn't have really any real discussions about those characters. So we understand Zoro went to Hawkeye Mihawk, which is probably the obvious, like, ring, 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 phone call. That's the one that should stand out.
He got trained by a guy who beat him with his food knife. Like,
I'm just saying. I mean, like, Hawkeye Mihawk is the deadliest swordsman in the world. He's the number one swordsman in the world. The difference between him and everybody else is the mountain and the sky. Like, it's that's the difference between everybody else and himself. He's a sky. Everybody else is a mountain on the earth. He flies. Everybody is sitting on the ground. Zoro looks as though he is actually finding a way to climb and get to Hawkeye Mihawk. Hawkeye Mihawk has never used a named attack.
They've all been casual swings. Even when he swung at Luffy and Luffy ducked back and he cut the entire top half of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Again, just a casual day on the golf course. It's like, it's like, I mean, this guy was super casual.
Yeah.
At Marineford.
And so, you're looking at that. Then you go to, we know what Frankie did because it's obvious, right? And he went up against Senior Pink, which is arguably one of my favorite fights in the New Age arc. But then you have, we know Sanji went over there and studied with Ivankov.
Eva-chan.
But again, we don't know everything that he really learned. We just know he came back with hell memories.
He's supposed to learn like the 99 fighting recipes. He's only used 2 of them since the post-time skip started. Yeah. And it was like, okay, what are the other recipes that you learned? You have 97 other techniques that you...
He got 99 problems, but let's stop. But he all right, and then Tony Chopper, we still don't know what still don't know
because he always needs somebody else to help him do. Except for he's the one who got the cure for the gas that Queen was like shooting out with the ice plague bullets.
Yeah,
it was really him, even though he had Tristan's and Miyagi's help. It was really Chopper that did the bulk of the work. Finally, he had a doctoring feat. And then that didn't involve law. And then
let's go even further. Nami, we know that she was with the pervert because he wears a short skirt, and that's about it. Just saying, look like her with the pervert to me. And then last but not least, you have a glaring one, which is Nico Robin. She's
with the Revolutionary Army, Luffy's father's group, and we know next to nothing about what. She met Koala. She seemingly met Karasu, Bello Betty, Sabo, Morley, Dragon, the Ice Cat dude. I always blank on the Ice Cat dude's name. The Ice Gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, she seemingly has met a lot of the top brass of the. Like that issue right there bothers me so much. Because as I've said, I love One Piece. I love Oda. He's crafted a great story, but to me, the other Straw Hats do suffer in the shadow of Luffy.
Yeah, and it's worse than. Because don't get me wrong, when I say this isn't Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. Okay, like listen, I love Krillin. That's my dude. Krillin had no business being in that show. Honestly, if the show had lost Krillin, we'd be okay. I ain't trying to.
Veggie just tell. With his destructor of this.
I mean, but that's about it. Yeah. One of the feats he had, he went to
bounce back because of the Spirit Bomb. He was pure of heart, so he.
Okay.
Volleyball.
Okay. I mean, but he's really almost a useless character to a certain degree. Yeah. And then you have like Tien, you have Chaozu, Yamcha. They're all useless. Exactly. They're all useless. But the difference in One Piece is that it isn't just about let's say that Luffy is Goku, clearly, right? Mm-hmm. It can't be, and maybe you could argue. You know what? For argument's sake, let's say that Sanji is Vegeta, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That would be all you need in One Piece. No.
Yeah, no. Luffy's already said that I can't become king of the pirates without. He's like, I can't navigate. I can't swing a sword. I can't cook. I'm not a sharpshooter. I can't tell. Or in Usopp's case, he said, I can't tell lies. Because he was talking about Usopp. This is in our part. But that was when he said, "But I can send you flying," you know.
Yeah.
When he beat all along, and so that right there established how Luffy sees himself becoming the king of the pirates. Even on Whole Cake Island, he told Sanji, "I can't become king of the pirates without you.
Yeah.
I need you here. I need you on my crew." And so like, okay, now we're going against these top tier combatants. The Flying Six were up to be the replacement for the All Stars. No, the Calamities.
Yeah.
In Kaido's crew. Sasaki and Who's Who were wanting to challenge Jack, King, and Queen for commander position, because we know Kaido's crew is a meritocracy. It's about who's the strongest. It's not about who served longest. It's about who's stronger than who.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing them, you're seeing Sasaki get beat by Frankie, which obviously is Frankie Shogun, this Wapple Metal. Like, like we saw what Frankie did to Big Mom. He rode his bike across her face.
Yeah.
We saw what Jinbei and Robin did, rolled her out of there.
Like a bowling ball.
Like a bowling ball. Get out of here, Trick. So obviously.
Back to that kitchen!
Because obviously. The Straw Hats have, tricks up their sleeves, ways to actually get around folks. But when it comes to actual fighting, I think this is where the only part Oda stumbles at. And even he says that, he's not a very good drawer of like actual fighting at One Piece. I don't think the Katakuri fight has been his best
definitely
artwork of any
fight
my
goodness
that he's done inside the
Katakuri
series.
with the darkened eyes,
Exactly.
the beast
Dude,
figure.
The whole beast figure was like
Dude.
so dope when he looked demonic.
And you talk about the way he got up and ran at Luffy. Mm-hmm. It was some of the best artwork I've ever seen from his hands.
He's done since, I would say that was the best panel since Zunisha swinging his trunk down and destroying Jack's ships. Like that was like the best panel to me up until that point. But it's like, now we're getting here with these Straw Hats and like, okay, we know what happened and we know the reason why they spent 2 years was to train, right?
Yeah.
So that way, if a Kizaru threat happened again, they would be able to. It wouldn't just be Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji having to fight. All of them would be able to fight. And Oda's doing that now to where he's incorporating them. But it's like, okay, unless it gets revealed in this next chapter that, let's say, for instance, Nika Robin actually does have, Conqueror's Haki. Not Conqueror's Haki, but any type of, one at this point, whether it's armament, or even observation, is like, okay, this is a heck of a time to reveal it right now, because it's like now it seems like out of nowhere. It's like, again,
because she hasn't shown any capacity to do it,
and he can easily write it off like a flashback, but it's like the whole flashback shtick is kind of getting old.
Yeah, it's like we need a full exploration of what she went through.
Exactly, because every time Luffy is getting a power up, well, we get the whole Rayleigh flashback. Is like
da da da
exactly
da 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 da.
It's like, come on, bro. It's like, yes, we know Zoro got it. Like, we know Zoro got the flashback with Mihawk, but in Zoro's case, Zoro was already exhibiting armament and haki since he came back from the post time skip. We already knew Zoro had arm, he could extend it to his blades. Yeah. So when he got the flashback, it wasn't a big deal. Plus, it was post-fight against Pika. Was when Zoro had the whole flashback of Mihawk telling him that any blade can become a black blade. And he said the only reason why I broke your like swords was because you didn't have them coated in armament and haki. So in Zoro's case, it was post-fight. He got the flashback. Yeah. Luffy is during the fight. When you see the Rayleigh flashback, I was like, okay, this guy's about to win. Play his victory music. Go on to play his OST. It's done. It's a done deal.
You know what? There's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna want that OST to be like more like Bleach.
I do. Bleach has the best OST. It's the drums. We're like, and then the vocals kick in. It's like, it's over. It's over.
But see, when I'm trying to, we're gonna do this all night, man. Because when he ends up going up against Kaido, I was telling them, man, somebody needs to replace that with him versus Isaac. Like, Ichigo versus Isaac. Da, da, da. Like, just the face palm scene, and just put that when Kaido is finally getting that beat down last second. Mm-hmm. Like, when because you know, the likelihood is that he's probably going to end up getting, like, something like I've tried to figure out what is this storyline equivalent to.
Oda said it can't be something as simple as a punch.
Yeah.
So that's why I do believe it's going to be a team effort. I'm thinking Oars from Mother the Bark, because it's supposed to be the 9 shadows who are going to take out Kaido. So that's why I'm hoping Zoro goes back to the roof. Even though I would love to see Zoro get a 1v1 against King. Obviously, I think if Oda gives him that fight, we know that would be Zoro officially learning that he has Conqueror's Haki, because it's still vague. Like, you know, did he really believe? And because in the anime, it confirms Zoro is a Conqueror Haki user, and we know the type of Conqueror's Haki blast he used. Rayleigh said it's harder to knock out a specific group of people than it is to knock out a bunch of people with it. You have to have skill at knocking out just a specific group. So if he doesn't have it and if he doesn't understand he has it and he's already doing that, that's OD. Honestly.
Yeah.
That is OD. What says that he knows he has it already is Fishman Island, when he said if Luffy wasn't capable of knocking out the 50,000 fishermen, he'd have to step down as captain.
Which to me, I told my brother, I always took that as him saying, hey, I'm just saying,
I can
you can do it.
Since he's his captain, he's like, you know,
hey. And if you pay attention, I believe that storyline has actually been there the whole time. We didn't realize it.
It probably has, but then again, it's like, oh, what, like.
Well, it's just I want to go back.
Go ahead.
Man, I hate this. We're doing this way too late, bro. All right,
we gotta find time during the day to do these things.
So I just kind of thought about something. When he went up against, when Luffy first found Zoro was already known to be one of the baddest swordsmen around.
That's the thing, if you remember it, who took out Axe-Hand Morgan? It wasn't
Yeah.
Luffy. It was Zoro who took out Axe-Hand Morgan.
And not only that, but the belief right there was that Zoro was stronger than Luffy.
Well, every time we've seen it, every character is like, he's not even the captain when they talk about Zoro. That's what everybody's like. They're like, he's not the captain.
Yeah.
When they were on Sabaody, they were like, he's not the captain of the Sword Pirates. Like, so they were like, how much more incredible does like Luffy have to be to have someone like him as a subordinate?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says about Zoro.
Because even if you think about it, everybody else decided to go with Luffy because they recognize him as the captain. Mm-hmm. They would say, you know what, you're worthy of it.
You know,
yeah, you're worthy of it.
You know, he has this natural draw to bring people to his side.
Yeah, but see, there's something unique about Zoro, and I want to talk about this. Why is it so late? It just hit me. Mm-hmm. Zoro was the only one who told Luffy, "Hey, if you don't do this,
I'll make you
I'm out.
Commit suicide." Yeah, exactly.
I'm out.
Yeah. He's
like he's the only one who joined Luffy's group with a condition. In other words, everybody else willingly did it. He's the only one who said, "I'll do it as long as it coincides with what I want to do."
Mm-hmm, yeah.
In other words,
because he actually told Luffy, "If you get in the way of my dream, I'll make you kill yourself."
That's exactly why I say that his story is so like I hate myself for saying this, but again, the problem with shonen style writing is that you make the character such a broad topic, but his subordinates, the side characters, often
keep
more
reading than what the main character does. They have more draw to them.
So tell me this: how much more? Man, no, I'm not even kidding you. I hate this, but how much more awesome is it of him as a character who said, "You take me." Mm-hmm. I was going to be. He said, "I was going to be." Mm-hmm. In other words, he put his own ambitions aside.
He's done no other Straw Hat has been willing to.
Everybody else has a dream.
Yeah, everybody else has a dream, but no one's been willing to sacrifice their dream for Luffy. we know Sanji said that he would, but obviously he was too injured.
Yeah,
he could barely stand on his feet.
Oh, dude, that was, that was probably
that
the most beautiful thing, though, is when he could barely stand, and he's like, "I'll do it. I'm gonna go to the all blue." And then Zoro's like,
"This is my moment. Get out of
here." And then again, he comes back with nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Dog, it's such a passionate thing because I've always said, like, the problem with us as a culture is that we don't have a live and let die attitude.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a I'm willing to die for this. Like, we don't have any more Patrick Henry like energy. We need Patrick Henry energy. You know, give me freedom or give me death. Like, we need that. And what I love about One Piece is that we see that. We see that. My favorite thing is when he said, when Hawkeye Mihawk said, "Why aren't you walking away?" He said, "The mark of a true swordsman is that there's not one cut on his back." When Whitebeard died, one of the greatest scenes is when they said when his jacket fell, there's not one crack on his back. And it lets you know Whitebeard was about that life, man.
Exactly.
So it's like, that's what I be talking about when I say they write more interesting stories for the side characters, and when you as a reader are not getting those side character tidbits, it gets a little frustrating because you love it. Yeah. I still want to see what Luffy gonna do. I still believe in the power of friendship, but you want to see, like, okay, so you were with the Revolutionary Army,
exactly. Like, what type of insight did you learn?
What did you learn? Like,
you know, what are their true goals? Like,
and then if you look at since he's written there, and I just realized, just sitting here thinking about it, isn't it funny how she's always smirking?
Yeah, I think she knows a lot more than what she lets on.
Yeah,
but she doesn't want to ruin Luffy's adventure.
Yeah,
as was what I think it is, because it's like, you know, every time Luffy's dad comes up, she's not there. Because remember, they learned about Baltigo getting attacked while they were on the way to Whole Cake, but Nico Robin wasn't there. And even when they brought up the Revs, she never says anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like how, like, no one asked Zoro about his eye. It's like
yeah,
I missed those pre-time skip moments, because if this was still a pre-time skip,
they would have asked those questions.
They would have asked those, you know,
and we would have either got told none of your business, or hey,
not right now,
not right now.
You know, it's like, exactly, because when they were first met Rayleigh, and Usopp was like, "Hey, what is One Piece?" Luffy was like, "Hey man, shut up." He's like, if he reveals what it is right now, I'll stop this adventure right now. Like, I don't want to know what it is.
I'll go wreck you.
Exactly. And Nico Robin,
oh man.
Exactly. And Nico Robin was like, she was like, "Okay, what is the world's history?" And he was like, "You really want me to tell you?" He was like, "Cause I will." But he was like, "But I think you might come to a different conclusion than what we did. You know, you might have a different answer." And I think that, because with Zoro being one of the only ones who would lay down his dream for Luffy, one of my ideas is that, a theory that I have is that, so Luffy's going to be fighting Blackbeard for the One Piece. And obviously, Oda has put in the story that Nico Robin might get captured, right?
Yeah.
So let's say Blackbeard does capture her, and then she does end up revealing where it is, but you have to read the instructions, and she gives Blackbeard some like bogus instructions, right? Because folks have always brought up the fact that no one in the series has died from drowning yet.
Oh,
no one has died from actually drowning in the series, and so my idea is that Luffy and Blackbeard are going to be fighting, but then Luffy might learn that one of the Straw Hats are in trouble, and that he needs to actually help them, like over a Din over a Din, you know.
Lucy.
And so he's like, you know what? He runs back. He chooses his crew over
the One
Piece. Blackbeard hits the thing and it actually makes him drown. And Nico Robin's like, well, I told him the wrong thing.
Wow.
Is actually this. And so then Luffy gets there, and so because Whitebeard said you're not the one Goldie Roger is waiting for. You know, so symbolizing that maybe a vestige of kind of like in My Hero, how like there are different shadows of the former users of One for All. Maybe there's a ghost, you know, of Roger there waiting.
Because he was clearly stabbed.
Exactly.
He was clearly executed.
Because like with the different dials, because you know that there are dials that can actually collect sound.
Record all the information.
Maybe there's actually a hologram dial of Goldie Roger waiting there. So when Luffy gets there, he's like, "Joy Boy, you finally, you finally made it." And so that right there is one of my ideals, is that Luffy would actually choose his crew like they've chosen him over their dreams, or like Zoro chose him over his dream. Luffy would return the actual favorite. Maybe it is Zoro. They're like, man, Zoro beat shit. He beat shit. I can't get the word out. Shiryu. But but Zoro is drowning, you know, or you know, something happens to him. He needs your help, you know, and so Luffy has to choose Zoro or somebody else over his dream, and he does it gladly. He's like, well, you know, because Luffy smiles, or you know, he always laughs. So he's like, well, you know, well, fine, you know, he turns around and is like, you know, I'm not going to lose a friend for this. You know, he chooses his crew, so in turn. And so since he chooses them, Roger's like, okay, you are the one, you know, I was waiting on. There was actually a riddle there. you know,
it would make sense if there was something like that, because it would certainly be a shonen trope.
Exactly.
The power of friendship. But then at the same time, though, it would also show the heart, because I don't think that, I don't see Blackbeard getting along with his crew.
I don't think that. Well, Jesus Burgess is his best friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jesus Burgess is his best friend.
Jesus Burgess.
Yeah, they've been together from
the very beginning.
From the information we know is that they've been together the longest. That's why he's his second division commander. Wow. Jesus Burgess really is not that strong. Like people are like, oh, he's a chance. Like it's a joke, guys. Yeah. Like Sabo broke his thing.
The elbow pad, everything.
Like it was nothing. You know, like Jesus Burgess is not that strong. But since he's been his friend the longest, that's why he has such a high rating. In the crew. I'm actually about to look up Blackbeard's crew because I'm trying to figure out what's that guy's name that we were talking about off stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been streaming for a while. We actually went longer than what we wanted to.
Yeah, we were like 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe 30.
Now it's been an hour and 2 minutes.
Oh, goodness gracious, really?
Yeah, it's been an hour and 2 minutes. So if you're just tuning in, we're actually about to go ahead and log off because I still got to work in the morning.
Yeah, I got to.
And so does he. He actually has to take his son over to the dentist.
Ugh, and then I got a bunch of work I got to do.
Yeah.
It's like, work is like this for me, like. Let me also explain something to you guys. I know some people be like, man, you guys do these things like 3 times a week. And it's like, we want to do it all the time. The problem is life is kicking us so hard with work. And thank God for work. Exactly. We keep food. Hey, listen, food stays on my table.
Von Auger, that's his name. Von Auger.
Yeah. It's food stays on the table, a roof over our heads. Mortgage get paid.
Exactly.
Adult life. So, you know. But eventually, we're going to be more
active.
Eventually.
So, yeah. Just bear with us a little bit longer. We actually do plan on doing a stream when the actual chapter drops. Obviously, we got to get off of work. That'll be Friday night.
Yeah.
And so we actually do plan on doing talking about it because as we said, we haven't spoiled y'all anything, mind you.
Yeah.
We have read the spoilers, so we actually do know what's going to happen in this next chapter. It's going to be the whole talk of the town that this thing might actually trend. So, so you know, we're actually waiting to like see it. But yeah, that'll be our episode for the night. Like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike if you also want to. It doesn't matter. Any type of interaction you do with our channel, it helps out with the algorithm for like YouTube. I'm still trying to speak tonight, but yeah, that'll be the stream. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We'll be